Hello everyone. In this video, I'm going to explain about the add-ins that are supported by the QTP. How do we manage these add-ins and what are the different type of add-ins that are supported by the QTP. So before proceeding for the technical description of what actually add-in is in the QTP, let me give you one simple real-world example so that you can relate easily these add-ins with the QTP. So suppose there is one person, well, let's say this is one person, and he wants to do shopping from different countries. Okay, let's take three different countries. Let's say this is India, okay, and this is USA, and this is Europe. Now this person wants to do shopping from this India. So what is that important thing which is required to achieve this operation? And the operation is shopping. What is that? That is, any guesses? That is money. So this person wants the money to do shopping. Okay, so if this person wants to do shopping from India, obviously he wants money but in different currency. Okay, so he wants INR for shopping in India. Similarly, if he wants to do shopping in USA, he wants some dollars, and similarly in Europe he wants some euro. So here the common thing is he wants shopping, and the major important component that is required for shopping is money, but three different currencies. So you can easily relate this thing with add-ins. So in this case, what is our operation in this example? The operation is shopping, and the component that is common in three of different countries is money. So this is a simple example. Now relate the same thing in add-ins. Suppose this is QTP and I want to do recording in three different applications. So in this case, let's take this as a web application. Okay, and let's take this as some Swing applet that is written into Java. Okay, and let's take this as some desktop application, and that is written into a .NET. Okay, so what is this? This person wants to do a recording in these three different applications. So in this case, our operation is now recording, and now for recording in these three different applications, the major important component where is add in. So in this case, we have that component as add in. So add-in is that important component that is required to perform the recording or running your test in different applications that is developed into a different environment. So like currency, we want different types of add-ins. So if you want to work onto the web application, for web application I want web add-in, and for Java this application I want a Java add-in, and for this desktop that is written into a .NET application I want a .NET add-in. So here our important component is add-in, and these are the different types of add-ins that are required to work on these different applications. So this is just a simple web application that can be any browser and any site. Similarly, we have some Swing applet that is written into a Java, and similarly the desktop application. So in technical terms, what is add-in? Add-in is that component or which gives an information about the development environment that is supported by the QTP. So different applications returns into a different environment, and we want the add-ins to get connected with those different environment with the QTP. So I guess you'll get a good idea on what is actually add-in is. So just remember the simple thing. Add-in is a mediator like thing which is required for QTP, which is required for QTP and your application. Okay, so your add-in is a mediator kind of thing which gives the information to QTP like the recording is going on such application. So there are different types of add-ins in the QTP. Let's look on this. it is divided into two parts. The first one is built-in and the second one is extended add-ins. Built-in add-ins or default add-ins, these are also referred as the default add-ins. So there are three types of those add-ins. The first one is ActiveX, the second one is Visual Basic, and the third one is Web Add-in. So these are those add-ins that gets installed by default when you install the QTP tool. You need not require any other kind of license or something to work on these add-ins. So what do actually add-ins do in the QTP? So let's say you are working on to some web application. Okay, let's say this is some browser. Let's say this is google.com. This is a one web application and this is browser, and let's say you have opened this thing in IE. So when you're working on this, you have this web add-in installed onto your QTP. So when you do recording something, it writes the line like this: browser, the name of your browser, and dot page, the name of your page, and then some object. Let's say link is an object. Suppose any link is there and it clicks on that link. So you do recording like this, you click link on this page. So if web add-in is loaded onto your QTP, it gives the information of these things: browser, then page, then link. These are the objects basically that is present in this add-in, web add-in. So add-ins, if you have add-ins installed in the QTP, means you have an access to these objects. These are the objects. Similarly, for the Visual Basic is that add-in which is required because in QTP the code is written into a VB scripting language. So you have an access of to the Visual Basic objects. That's why the Visual Basic add-in is there into a QTP. It means you have an access to all the Visual Basic objects. Similarly, for the ActiveX, if you have any ActiveX components onto your application, that's why this add-in is required. So these are the add-ins. Basically, the bunch of objects are present into the add-in, and if that add-in is loaded into your QTP, you have an access to those objects. Now next is the extended add-ins. So these are those add-ins that requires a license. You cannot have access until you don't have a proper license installed into your QTP. So some of these add-ins are like Java, then .NET, Oracle, Siebel, and many more. Apart from these three add-ins, all other add-ins are extended add-ins. So if you have the appropriate license, only then you can install these add-ins. So to work on these different add-ins, to manage these add-ins, we have a Adhan Manager into a QTP. So let's go to that Adhan Manager from the QTP tool. So when you start the QTP, Adhan Manager gets loaded. So this is the Adhan Manager. So the information about the installed add-ins gets listed over here. These are those three different add-ins, built-in add-ins basically, or we can say the licensed add-ins that are installed by default when we install those QTP. So you can select the add-in or unselect the add-in and just click OK. So that add-in will get loaded to your tool. So again, the add-in is required a major performance and things. So if you want a good performance, and if you want to maximize your performance while recording or running, load only the add-ins that you need actually. Don't load all the add-ins. So if you have appropriate license, you can install the other add-ins, and that add-ins will also get listed over here. So just select this and then press OK. Now your QTP. So you have an option to load this Adhan Manager or not load that Adhan Manager. So in the tools and options, then this in general load, there is one option is display Adhan Manager on startup. So if this option is checked, then your Adhan Manager gets displayed when you start the QTP. If you do not want to the Adhan Manager get started on the startup, just uncheck this option and apply and then OK. Now if this option is unchecked, then you have another options to manage those add-ins, that is from File, Settings, and within this Properties node, here within Associated Add-ins, you have all those add-ins that are installed in here. So just modify this button and check whatever the add-ins that you require for your recording or coding purpose, and check or unselect it and press OK, and then apply and then OK. Now save your test and continue your work with that add-ins. So this is all about like how do we manage the add-ins in the QTP, and what are the different types of add-ins we have in the QTP. We have 3 different types of add-ins: ActiveX, Visual Basic, Web, and the another section is extended add-ins. So what actually add-in contains within itself is the bunch of objects dependent on the development environment of the applications that you are currently working on. Thank you.